Welcome in, Geico Outkick Studios. Hope all of you are having a fantastic Friday. We are joined now by Roman Reigns, who is the WWE Universal Champion. Roman, when you were a kid growing up, would you have ever believed that you would get an introduction like that?
If I wasn't in the family that I am, I don't know. But, growing up, I just feel like I've kind of been, around the business and had so many family members and, my father, my uncles, cousins to my brother, all the way to my cousins, the Usos, seeing them, operate within this business. And it's just become such a normal lifestyle for us to be wrestlers, to be sports entertainers and performers. So I think, because of all of that, I have my family to thank, that really pushed me in this direction and groomed me to be kind of what I am today.
The Rock played at Miami. You played at Georgia Tech. They're now both in the ACC. Who do you think had a better college career?
Come on now, me. Nobody took my spot. And granted, it was, one of the best ever within Warren Sapp to do that to him. And, I think he was battling some injuries, whenever that was happening as well. But, when you have a certified All-American, true freshman coming in who you already know is going to be a Pro Bowler, there's just not much you can do, other than just trying to be able to rotate in and help out the defense and make some plays when you get the opportunity. But, I was a 4-year starter, all ACC selection my senior year, team captain. I busted my tail to really, make a difference and be a leader on that team and to be really good at my position and understand the defense. So I would definitely put my career up against his for sure.
Now, you've graduated, obviously, and you're out of from playing at Georgia Tech, but do you still have a great deal of dislike for the University of Georgia based on that rivalry?
I hate Georgia. A lot of it is, and I'm about to give them some respect right here at the same time because I never beat them in my 4 years. I almost want to hang up the phone right now because I hate Georgia and I hate admitting that. But that's the key is to be able to admit where your failures were. But Georgia is one of those schools, like a lot of state schools, where we always say, for the people who are wearing a Georgia, hat, they didn't get it from Georgia. They got it from Walmart. A lot of these people didn't even go to Georgia, didn't even go to the school. So you just deal with a lot of ignorant, with on the football field and just in life. Georgia people, we just don't see eye to eye, those Bulldogs and us Tech people.
We're talking to WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Roman, when you were at Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech is a hard school. Do you remember a course where you were like, oh, my God, what did I get myself into? Because I remember talking to Calvin Johnson a while back, and obviously he's a Georgia Tech guy who had tremendous success in the NFL as well. But you guys don't get like an easy road necessarily. A lot of athletes, you go to schools, you don't have to take that many hard classes. You guys really have to be on top of the engineering, on top of your math, on top of your science. Did you ever question, man, what in the world am I doing here trying to play football full time with the challenges in the classroom as well?
Oh, all the time. I was in study hall till my junior year. They never let me out of that because school was tough. And on top of that, you're juggling being, like a very young adult, irresponsible adult, dealing with a lot of freedom and stuff like that. And then they put you in the middle of Atlanta,
yep,
which, presents so many great, opportunities of fun. But yeah, as far as the majority of my classes were those type of classes where I was just like, geez, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how, people can do it all. And especially, within the engineering and stuff like that, going into the even thicker courses as far as, the hours and the things that you need to do. But all the maths and economics were really tough. They were not easy. And there were times where I just felt like I didn't belong. But if you just hang in there and you communicate, you try to network and you show up, that was a big key that they try to, do with us, is just show up to class. Make sure you get to class, and pay attention, and the rest will try to, pretty much take care of itself.
Do you still, I know you're busy and you're traveling all over the place with Friday Night SmackDown, and we're going to talk about the big match you have later tonight in a moment here, but do you still watch a lot of college football or a lot of NFL when you find time? Are you still a big football fan?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely still a big fan, but it can be kind of sporadic. There'll be some, Saturdays and Sundays where I have the time and I'm like, I'm watching football all day, or I'm gonna catch College Game Day and try to watch it all the way through. But there's some days where it doesn't work out. Whether it's something for work or it's having 5 kids. There's always something that kind of pops up and presents itself to take my attention away. But the days that I get to watch some ball, it's a good day.
What's it feel like to come out with your music and your announcement? So I've got 3 kids myself, and they love WWE. We're WWE Network subscribers. We watch all the big events. They were excited to hear that you were going to be on the show. What's the comparison to walking into a sold-out arena for a big match in a WWE event with what it felt like to run out on the field, either as a part of an NFL? I know you had a short stint in the NFL, and also, as you said, a 4-year starter with Georgia Tech. Is the adrenaline rush similar?
To be honest, I think just the magnitude of being in front of a big audience is very similar, but it's totally different because, I think what's cool about football is the camaraderie and that energy you have amongst your teammates, and you're kind of going into battle together and you have that, that bond. But when you walk out as a WWE superstar, you're the quarterback and there's nobody else to take your spotlight. You command the stage, all eyes, every set of eyes are on you. So there's something very different about that, very special. And to be able to have that connection and, that simultaneous response of, I do this, I emote this way, they react this way. They, pulling on those emotion strings is a lot different than, what you do within a football field and playing your techniques and stuff like that. But yeah, I enjoyed both. I definitely enjoyed football, but being a WWE superstar, in front of a packed house at a WrestleMania, playing, performing in front of a stadium audience, there's nothing like it.
We're talking to Roman Reigns. He is the WWE Universal Champion. Later tonight, you are going to be facing off against Braun Strowman. What's that like? What do you expect? And what are his strengths and weaknesses so far as you see them?
I think he has every strength in the world, to be honest. He's humongous. He's one of the biggest athletes that we have. Well, he is the biggest athlete that we have, with Big Show not being around quite as much. But he operates on a different type of athleticism as well. But he moves, like a pulling left tackle or something, someone you would put out in the open field to block DBs and something like that, So when you're dealing with a guy like that who's very aggressive, that can be I think the problem that he has is I know him. And, within this game, he's still playing checkers while I'm dominating that chess at this point. At this moment, 2 days ago on Wednesday, I already had it figured out how I'm going to beat him, what I'm going to do, because I've just been there so much. I've done this dance so many times. I've competed and operated at the main event level for so many years now that it's not even fair anymore. I've just been groomed. I've been experienced at my tenure to be able to do and know the things that I know when that bell goes ding, ding. He's just out of his league when it comes to, being a cerebral competitor within the ring, to be able to operate at a championship level. He can throw around a lot of different superstars. He can impose his will and dominate a lot of different men. But I'm more than a man in that ring. At this point, I'm more than just the top of the mountain. Everybody is chasing me at this point in my career. Everybody wants to do and be talked about like I am at this point. So I appreciate him trying. And there's going to be times where he hits me really hard and it's not going to feel good. But these are all things, I can take a good hit. You know what I mean? That's something I've been groomed and conditioned to withstand. But at this point, he just doesn't have a chance in my mind. I'm going to make a statement, and I really hope that my cousin can watch this match and understand what he's dealing with. Remember the beatdown that I gave him at Clash of Champions, and understand what he's walking to into in Hell in a Cell. If I have to demonstrate my dominance on a monster, imagine what I do, to just a regular man. Imagine what I do to someone I know even better than, I know my cousin even better than I know Braun Strowman. So I just hope he watches this match later on tonight and he understands what he's getting himself into on October 25th.
We're talking to Roman Reigns. You are a physically imposing guy. You played 4 years college football. You had stints in the NFL and in the CFL, and obviously you've had a lot of success in the WWE as well. But maybe your biggest accomplishment, I would imagine, in your mind, is overcoming leukemia and fighting a battle for leukemia and helping so many other people who have had that same struggle. What did it feel like when you became aware that you were going to have to fight leukemia, and what have you been doing to help others who have similar battles?
It was a bit of a roller coaster ride, very scary, especially to disclose this kind of information to essentially the world. We broadcast to a global audience. And I'm sure, as with social media and the connectivity of the internet, it can sometimes be a very toxic place, and people can say things, that they don't necessarily mean, but they just want to kind of get a rise out of people or get a like or get a comment, and get a little traction. So they'll say anything. So it can be a very hurtful place. So I was a little nervous about that, but to be honest, the support and, just the amount of, people that kind of just lifted me up, it just really made things a lot easier for me to just not focus on anything negative and just focus on, just healing and focusing on my family and just getting healthy. And, for that was just an amazing display of love and support that, even in a place as crazy as social media and that type of landscape, there is a lot of positivity. So, I'm just so thankful, to have had that support and that love and people, having my back. That to me, it made sense once I was able to kind of, get my health in order to just try to, help out where I can and pay it forward. And having the opportunity to be a WWE star, superstar is it's God sent, but it's not as fulfilling as being a partner with LLS to be able to help out, with different foundations like Connor's Cure and the V Foundation, to do different things like Make-A-Wish, to be able to do that type of stuff and connect with parts of our fan base, and other humans who are just struggling and a tough time, to be able to create a different type of escapism that really goes so much further than anything pro wrestling or sports entertainment can do. And I'm just so proud to be able to partner up with these different foundations and to be able to work with LLS and help guide people to support and, whether it's financial assistance, all the way to research and funding. It really does a lot of good, to be able to help others and show them that there is hope.
Last question for you, and we're talking with WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. You should be watching Fox's Friday Night SmackDown later tonight. I believe you said you have 5 kids. Do you have any parenting tips? We got a lot of dads and moms listening. 5 kids is a lot more than most have. What have you found to be the best parenting tip you would give to somebody out there, especially in what has been a challenging 2020 for a lot of parents?
Stay patient. For me, I read this book called the 5 Languages of Love for your children. And, with me, it might be a little different if you have one kid, maybe a little easier if you have, a smaller amount of children. But with 5 children, they're all different, and you connect to them in different ways, and you have to figure out the different languages to speak to them as far as love, whether it's, words of affirmation, gifts, what were the other ones? Displays of kindness. There's just all different, there's 5 different languages. I don't want to give them all away, and I'm blanking, to be honest, but there's just different ways to
every kid is different. It is, and you see that. The more kids you have, I've got 3. You think one parenting style might work for them, and it doesn't necessarily. So you have to reach them all different ways.
Exactly, and that's kind of the cool part too. Is when you really dive into that detail, you get to know them so much better, and you know how to connect with each one differently, and it creates, opposed to just having one kind of relationship with all your children. For me, I have 5 different relationships with all. 2 of them are very, very young, still infants, but for the other 3, it's a different relationship, and they need different types of love, different types of, quality time and attention. So it just allows you to really build a different type of bond when you can do it, somewhat separately, and then be able to bring it all back together and have that camaraderie with all of them. But if you can really just try to learn each individual, each child as an individual, I think that'll help greatly.